Today's episode is brought to you by my new book, Fuck Whales, Petty Essays from a Brilliant Mind. Available now at Amazon, Barnes & Noble, or anywhere books are sold. Welcome to the best debate in the universe. Every debate in the universe, from having kids to stupid squids. With over 2.5 million downloads, I'm your host, Madcast. With me is moderator in training, Dreadmere.
Oh yeah, what's up?
And as always, the Maharaja of moderation, Rucka Ali.
Yeah!
Welcome back to the show. Guys, exciting show today, big show. We've got some repeat guests. We've got in-house today Dreadmere. Dreadmere, you guys remember, he's a fan favorite. And Zach Waldman. Guys, welcome back to the show.
Fan favorite.
I'm fan hated, I was going to say.
Fan hated and fan favorite.
I went about 3 comments in and went, okay, I'm good.
No, people weren't shitting.
They love Zach.
Yeah.
Oh, I love you guys. I like this Dreadmere, man. I just met him, and I was a little sad not to see Mikey pulled, but this guy's cool too, man.
Yeah, thanks,
Yeah,
man.
this guy, I feel like I could hang out with him.
Yeah, for
Dreadmere
sure.
is a solid dude. I will vouch for him.
Yeah, no,
Yeah.
I can already tell. He's good vibes all around with this dude.
He really is, and he's really smart, but also cool to hang out with. He's not going to make you feel dumb.
All right, guys.
No,
we're running out of time.
I like this show.
What is this? One of those podcasts which is a bunch of blowhards blowing each other?
Yeah.
Let's get to a conversation.
Well, we
If
will
it's
get to
me,
a conversation.
I'm fine with that.
Yeah,
Yeah.
bunch of blowhards blowing each other. Speaking of, that's the debate today. Should men go their own way, or
Oh, yeah.
or should MGTOW? Should
Yeah.
MGTOW?
Yeah.
That's the debate today. Men going their own way. We'll explain a little bit what that is when we get into the debate. But this is kind of a fascinating topic, one that we've been kind of teasing for a while now, because Rucka and I say we're MGTOW.
Yeah.
Yeah. Anytime we go out, we
Which
can
means
hang
like,
out.
hey, want to get dinner later?
Yeah.
Yeah, MGTOW.
Yeah, any chicks coming? No? Fuck yeah, MGTOW.
Yeah.
Wow, you guys are... Yeah, I don't think that's the way other people would take that if they heard it, though.
Well,
They would think-
if they're not MGTOW, they wouldn't understand.
Yeah, they wouldn't understand.
Well, I know what it means, and I would wrongly assume things about you based on
I mean, you can assume
I would
what you
just
want.
avoid all labels. All labels. But
All
if
right.
you're using it as like a verb, like, or, you know, as like it's like a hang, that's a different use of it. That's kind of cool.
That's what
Yeah.
I'm saying. It's
Yeah.
kind of cool.
It is kind of cool.
Yeah.
Well, that's the debate this week. Should men go their own way? Should MGTOW?
You
Zach,
just shouldn't be part of MGTOW. We'll talk about it. We'll get to that later.
Okay, we'll get to
what's
that.
up?
We'll get to that. Let's all hear everyone's buzzers. Here's mine.
Here's mine. Wrong! Nice.
All right.
That's mine, Dreadmere.
And that's mine.
There you go. That's everyone's buzzers. If you hear a buzzer from anyone during this debate, that means someone is chiming in, wants to point something out, wants to interject, is pointing out a factual inaccuracy. But let's get to the debate. Now, Zach, it sounds like you are opposed to the MGTOW philosophy. And before we get into it, let me define it for our audience, men going their own way, because this is kind of confusing. People haven't heard this expression before. They don't know what it is. It's kind of an offshoot of the men's rights movement, I think, where the men's rights movement has two main branches, main offshoots, which is the incels, involuntarily celibate guys who are angry and bitter and resentful because they're not getting laid, and then the MGTOWs who are like, fuck it, we don't need to get laid, we're just going our own way. I went to MGTOW.com. This is a real website. MGTOW, men going their own way, is a statement of self-ownership, where the modern man preserves and protects his own sovereignty above all else. It is the manifestation of one word: no. Ejecting silly preconceptions and cultural definitions of what man is, looking to no one else for social cues, refusing to bow, serve, and kneel for the opportunity to be treated like a disposable utility, and living according to his own best interests in a world which would rather he didn't. That is the MGTOW philosophy, essentially.
What do you think, Zach?
All right, well, here's the problem, is a lot of what those guys believe I agree with. The problem is, as soon as you say that you're part of that group, a lot of those people in that group have a lot of political views and other ideology that I don't want to be associated with. So if you want to say, like, as a matter of fact, Tom Likas, they've asked him, like, hey, man, you know, are you MGTOW? He's like, no, because you're a bunch of Trump supporters and Trump is retarded. So, but I think the bigger statement or the bigger point is I don't want to be identified with any group, right? I don't think any of us do, really. What?
That's not the debate. The debate is should men go their own way?
Yeah.
Sounds like you're on the side of yes.
Yeah, I think men should not get married. I don't think you should probably be in a relationship at all. It's probably just not a good idea most of the time. And so that's what I'm saying. A lot of their philosophy.
You're MGTOW. And by the way, Maddox, the MGTOWs don't necessarily say don't get laid. We don't want to get laid.
No.
A lot of them don't make fun of them. We're having a fair and honest debate.
Yeah.
You know what I think it is? I think it's their own version of stoicism to a large degree. If you look at the Stoic philosophy, they're kind of saying, hey, we're good on our own.
But even among men going their own way, many of them are still proud of getting laid. They're proud of you. Even some of them are into short-term relationships, right? So it's not that they're saying we're celibate. So I just want to be clear. Men going their own way. I like how I become their official spokesman, but I want to have clarity on what we're debating.
Yeah, no.
Men going their own way are saying no long-term relationships, no marriage, no.
So maybe we're not debating. Maybe we all agree.
Well, we'll find out. But you're on the side of
so far
of men going. Okay, so that's MGTOW and Maddox. You're with Zach, right?
Yeah, to an extent.
We're gonna for the debate's sake.
We'll get into it. Yeah.
So we gotta have
I mean,
clarity.
it sounds like in practice you guys are saying the same thing, right? Like you should maybe not move in with a girl, maybe don't get married, right? You're saying don't get married pretty much.
Oh, you got to be retarded to get married.
Oh,
my thing was, it's the same reason I wouldn't want to be called, any label where people just make this sweeping generalization about me. Someone says, oh, you're a liberal. It's like, well, on this, this, and this, but not on this, this, and this. So I just don't want to be associated with their whole,
you've made it very clear you're not an official card-carrying member of MGTOW. All right?
Yeah,
neither is Maddox, but
I gotcha. Yep.
But you guys are on the side. It's a debate.
Well, why don't you list some things that maybe I disagree with? What are some of the more outrageous ideas?
Well, he just read what their mission statement,
that's
right?
The mission
that's the
statement.
mission
Let's
statement.
get to some specific ideas.
Let's get Dreadmere's opinion first, because I want to hear what Dreadmere thinks. Dreadmere, MGTOW or no?
No. Not a fan of MGTOW.
Not a fan of MGTOW. Why is that?
I've never had that frustration. I've never had like as many times as a woman has like pissed me off, or like we've gotten in arguments, or I've lost monetarily or physically from it. Like a girl, like all the issues I've had with girls, I've never ever been like. There's always been a moment in all of my relationships where a girl's like, "Oh, you still want to be with my crazy ass, don't you?" And I'm like, "Yeah, I do." Like I've never been so frustrated to the point where I'm like, "Yeah, fuck it, I'm just done with them. I'm not gonna pay them any attention." Like I like women too much.
You're saying you can't walk away from emotionally abusive women?
I mean, I probably can now, but I haven't. I certainly haven't in the past.
And when I was younger, I didn't either. It was amazing some of the stuff I put up with.
Yeah.
But I don't know what does that have to do with.
Yeah, you're not making a great
case. My point with that is that like
you're making a case for maybe you should be more MGTOW.
Yeah, you're making a case for MGTOW.
I still went out in the end because I'm like.
Well, I have
I'm
a girlfriend,
hopeful,
and I'm apparently MGTOW, and I've got a girlfriend, and I.
There you go. So, all right, okay,
well,
guys.
Here's what I don't like about the mission statement. It's ultimately nihilistic. It's ultimately saying that like we need to shift the power, or
Why is
fuck
it
them
nihilistic?
anyway. What was that last part at the end? There's like a second sentence down.
It says, living according to his own best interests in a world which would rather he didn't.
Like, why do you think the world would rather you don't?
Because the world is inherently about suffering and struggle and chaos. And
Who says?
You don't think that the world is chaotic?
It's chaotic. That doesn't mean it's inherently about suffering.
You don't think life is suffering? Jordan Peterson
can eat a dick. Oh, no. Now we're in trouble. No, listen.
You're not in trouble.
He's wrong. He's wrong. He's wrong.
I think
God help me. Hold on. Jordan Peterson was wrong about something. Am I allowed to be on the internet anymore?
No.
I don't.
Jesus Christ.
Get your card revoked.
I think his point, though, when he says life is suffering, is he's saying it's a path away from nihilism by saying, look, life is inherently hard. And you have a choice of saying nothing matters, who gives a shit, I'm going to get fat, have a heart attack at 40 and die, or I can find meaning in having a goal and striving to achieve that goal and find meaning in life. So I think a MGTOW person could be somebody that finds meaning in life through, working toward a goal.
Yeah.
Well, no.
A lot of jerking off.
Well,
I feel-
Maddox, you're supposed to be the MGTOW side of this debate, and you keep misrepresenting them.
What's wrong with jerking off? It's fucking cool.
Yeah, but they're not celibate.
And I don't think they're nihilistic. I don't think it's a nihilistic philosophy. I think, looking out for yourself and saying, hey, the world is a tough place. It would rather see me defeated than see me win. And I'm going to stand up, write down a goal and work every day to achieve it. That doesn't sound nihilistic to me.
Whether it's MGTOW or Jordan Peterson, I'm a fan of personal pursuit. I just think in both cases, their premises are a little bit off base.
I'm just making an argument for personal responsibility,
There
and
you
that
go.
MGTOW is not a nihilistic philosophy,
There
in my
you go.
opinion.
See?
Not based on that.
No, I
All
agree with the whole personal development. That's the best part of it. That was my favorite part of the little mission statement they have. The last part is the rather we didn't. Like why are you going against something? I don't know why. Like, yes, life is hard and you should have to work to achieve whatever it is that you want. But I like, why would you if you think everything's just going to fall apart anyway? Like, the
I
reason
think
you
they're
do
saying
is
is the world is not naturally welcoming. The world is naturally something you have to push against.
Well, it's a
Yeah.
little bit more than that. Let me read a little bit more from their mission statement from their website.
there's more.
Yeah, I have some more of their philosophy here. This kind of gives you insight into the MGTOW frame of mind, men going their own way, that philosophy. It says, today, in the current culture, Time magazine says science reveals men are idiots because men are more likely than women to take idiotic risks. Let's pause for a moment and reflect on that. Men are more likely than women to take idiotic risks. Idiotic risks like attempting to break the sound barrier, which cost the lives of many test pilots. Idiotic risks, such as lighting the tail end of a rocket on fire and catapulting himself into outer space. Idiotic risks, like building an armada of ships to cross the world's most tempestuous oceans in order to definitively answer the question for all of humanity that the world is indeed round. These, quote, idiotic risks, which men have taken, afford women the luxury of boarding an aircraft and flying from New York to Los Angeles in 4.5 hours, while never once needing to take an interest in the basic operating principles of a jet engine. She can't explain thrust to weight ratios, but she will complain that the flight was delayed 30 minutes. So it's kind of a cynical view on women, and
I thought
a little bit disparaging.
Listen, guys, is this a debate? Like, which side are you on?
Which
Maddox?
side are you on?
I'm on Dreadmere's side.
That no MGTOW.
No MGTOW.
Okay, I guess I got shoehorned.
Yeah,
into
because
this one.
all your shoehorn, all you're doing is making
this
fun of
entire
them.
time you said you were MGTOW.
Me?
Yeah.
I was like, it's like a
Jesus
saying.
Christ.
It's like a style. It's like hell yeah. It's
Yeah.
like boys' night out.
That's
Yeah,
what I
that's
agreed
you,
with
man.
on.
he does it like
No,
ironically.
you're
though.
saying don't even date for more than 3 months.
No,
MGTOW
I've dated for 2.5 years or something
All
like
right,
that.
and you're not happy about it. Anyway,
I mean, who is?
guys, we're having a debate. It's not about what you actually believe per se. Like you're clearly making fun of them.
No, I'm reading this. I'm just reading the philosophy. I haven't even gotten to that point.
So yeah, it's like weird to like make airplane flights about men versus women. Yeah, most passengers don't know shit about the airplane mechanics,
Who cares,
and they're
by the way,
men
like,
and women that are complaining about delayed flights.
Men
Right.
and women have also taken risks too. Women have taken risks. The
Sure.
ratio is not important to me really. It's ultimately saying like if it's like a group that feels like they're attacked or something. That's what it sounds like.
Like, what's her name? The female pilot that got lost.
Amelia Earhart.
Amelia Earhart.
There you go.
Earhart.
Yeah.
There's
I think my
She took the
problem
risk.
with the I think another problem with my MGTOW, with this MGTOW crowd is that they're just such kind of pussies. They just seem to be whining
What
all
makes
the
you
time.
say that? And
Oh yeah, Zach, hold on. Let me read you some quotes because this website, you know how some websites have some quotes of famous people who they considered MGTOW. One of them was Wilbur Wright. You know, one of the Wright brothers.
Sure.
And here's the quote they use of his. He says, "I don't have time for a wife and an airplane." So he
Can't
said
argue with that.
MGTOW. I'm going with the airplane. Here's another one from Nikola Tesla. He says, "I do not think you can name many great inventions that have been made by a married man. Be alone. That is the secret of invention. Be alone. That is when ideas are born." What do you think of that, Dreadmere? Is that right? You get your best ideas when you're alone?
I think you have more time when you're alone, possibly, but I've had ideas, whenever. It doesn't matter. To purposely isolate yourself just because you think, oh, this is going to be my best success. I'm just going to cut off all women, even if I have as many opportunities as I want. It just sounds ridiculous.
Yeah, well, I'll tell you what isn't ridiculous. Productivity when you're single. With the first girlfriend I ever had, was kind of a time suck. She was cool, nymphomaniac. It was crazy. She had a subscription to Penthouse and Playboy.
Whoa.
It was I mean, I went over to her.
She sounds like a MGTOW.
Yeah,
Have her on the show.
You'd be surprised. So after we broke up, because I ended up having to go over to her place so much and spend a lot of time with her. Finally, when I broke up, I felt like I had my time to myself again, and I went downstairs. I was still living at home at the time. I went downstairs in my parents' basement and I coded. I wrote a program for 8 hours straight, and I didn't even get up to pee or eat or anything. I just sat and worked for 8 solid hours, and after I got done, after I finished compiling my program, I felt great. I felt like, damn, MGTOW. Holy shit, I got something done.
You had a productive day.
Yeah.
Lots of us get real creative in the aftermath of a breakup or whatever it was that was happening.
Yeah, we broke up.
Yeah, so lots of people, they kind of turn back to what it is that inspires them, that they can control. I mean, that's a healthy thing, but that doesn't mean that you would have been that creative had you never pursued that relationship to begin with.
I think I would have gotten more work done.
That's like my dream, though. Like the biggest issue I've ever had ever since I started YouTube and started dating, which were pretty much like synonymous, like at the same time. It's been an issue with girls, like girls who want to go to the beach every day with their little brothers and sisters with me. And I'm like, oh, I want to make a video, and like I can't. Or girls who've literally told me like, delete your Instagram, or we can't be together because this is weird. Like she said it was childish. She's like, you making these videos and like trying to get attention is like immature. So like all this shit.
That's like your livelihood, though, right?
Yeah.
Sounds like a reason to go.
That's a succubus.
And wait, there was another girl that wanted you to go to the beach with her and her little brothers?
Yeah, she like every single day.
That's not fun. Why would you want to do that?
That's what I said. Every day during the summer, because we went to high school together, and then during the summer she would want to drive to the beach like every day, and I was like, when are we gonna not do this? Because I don't like the beach, and like we would do it, and then finally I was just like, I can't. Like I really want to be away from you and be alone for a while, and she just couldn't handle it. So like that was kind of it. But yeah, that's been my dream, is to be with a girl and be able to work at the same time. And that's always been like my struggle. But I'm hopeful. I feel like that could happen. In the
You haven't found it yet, though.
No.
MGTOW. That's right. That's what MGTOW is, the solution to men who want to get shit done. You heard Wilbur Wright, and they even quoted Isaac Newton, not
Isaac
Asimov.
Asimov.
Although Isaac Asimov is a moderator posthumously on the show.
What did Newton say?
Newton, I don't have the actual quote from Newton, but he said something like the nature of knowledge and how you get knowledge from people.
Mm-hmm.
But they quoted Isaac Newton. They quoted all these famous
Well, look at
philosophers.
Siddhartha. By the end, he's like, I'm out, bitch. I'm going to go sit by a river and die.
Wow.
MGTOW.
Sounds like a great life or death. Go sit by the river.
There's Buddha. You ever read Siddhartha?
No,
That's
I don't want.
a great book.
I
Herman
own
Hesse.
it.
It's
I
a
have
classic.
It.
Read it.
How classic?
Read the goddamn book.
I'll fucking read it. God damn it! But I'm not impressed.
I told you I would read Fountainhead. And,
Yeah?
you know, I read everything, man.
Well, I mean
Read-
so that book is about a loner. He's an architect who minds his own fucking business. He's not out there chasing girls. But then he meets the one girl that really rocks his world. And what does he do? Still plays it real cool. Because she's got to get her shit together. She's got to figure out when she's ready to do it the right way. So, yeah, I don't think anyone here is saying just settle for some trick-ass skeezer that's going to pull you away from your work. You got to find that girl that appreciates you for your virtue, for your hard work. Who gets moist for watching you work hard.
Oh, boo.
I think too many people try to live their lives like it's a chess game, like they're going to lay out a strategy and an approach to it, when I think you're way better off just playing it day by day and trying to be as happy as often as you can be, or content is even a good goal. And, you know, if you're with somebody and it's good for a month and then she starts to become a drag because she wants you to play with her little brother and delete your Instagram, then you can MGTOW.
Yeah.
And enjoy it for what it was for when you had it, and then go on to the next thing. But I think this idea of constantly looking long term and trying to lay things out like, this is how I'm going to get through this life in an unscathed, that's not going to happen. So
okay, well, I gotta chime in here real quick, because
I knew I should have brought 2 beers.
There are some competing philosophies going on here. All right, the first is you want a chick who's fun and cool and wants to get down and hang out and do fun things. That's our ideal, right? That's the ideal girl we want to date. But that type of girl also wants to have fun and do things and have a partner that isn't so predisposed with work. So it seems like contradiction to be really ambitious and really driven by your job. It absolutely is. There's a girl I know who went out on a date with a lawyer who was just constantly working. 3 a.m. he'd finish work, come home, go over more briefs, wake up at 7 a.m., go right back to work.
This is the reason women think there's a pay gap, because they're not willing to work like that.
Well, that's a different debate.
Some of them are.
That's a different debate.
That's generally a male characteristic, more so than a female characteristic.
That tends to be the case for a number of reasons, but we won't get into that debate. But this guy that she tried to date, she very quickly, the first time she went on a date with this guy, she told me that it was amazing. He has the most amazing beach home. He has the most amazing car.
That's what was amazing.
The bedroom was amazing.
She sounds like a class act.
Yeah.
All the stuff that this guy had was amazing.
He has all those qualities that women look for: the house, the car, and what else?
She said that he took her out to a very nice date, and then took her down to the beach. They had a lovely date together, and it was after that she soon realized that they would never spend any time together. And that was because he was so driven and so ambitious. So these are contradicting principles, I think. What?
No.
So pick one, bitch. You want a nice house, or do you want to hang out with the loser
Yeah,
all
man,
day?
that's a very particular scenario.
You can't win with these women. All he does is play video games.
You can't win with you guys
because
you believe in this false dichotomy between working hard and having fun or having
I don't.
Look,
I
man,
think
every
you can
girl
have a nice work-life balance.
I'm making a case here.
No, I mean, but that's a particular.
Your case is wrong.
That's a particular scenario. Every girl I've ever been with, they find out what I'm doing. They all want the house. They all want the car. They all want it fucking yesterday. But they want me to spend every day with them. And so it's like,
they want it all.
Yeah, but I haven't found a girl who's been willing to sacrifice the time, the relationship time or whatever, to be able to make that work. But like, I definitely think it's possible, especially given the career that you choose. I mean, if that guy's just working all the time, I mean, yeah, that's one career out of, I think.
Well, it's been the opposite side with me too. I went out on a date with a doctor one time, and this girl showed up on her date in, changing out of her scrubs, and she says, "Oh my gosh, I'm so sorry. I work 14 hours a day." Well, yeah, but it was
still blood on him.
It was literally like she was a pre-med student, and then she said she had to work 14 hours at the hospital and then get some requirements or something. And I thought, oh my God. And then she's like scarfing down this burger. She's like, I only have an hour. I'm sorry. It's nothing like, I would love to see you again.
Perfect.
I said, no.
Bang me and go.
No. It's because that's someone I will never see.
Good.
I remember one time another
perfect.
I remember another time a girlfriend of mine was telling me that she was considering moving to another state for a guy she was dating. And she was working for an accounting firm. And the partner of the accounting firm really liked her because she was really good at her job. And he told her, don't move for a guy. You will regret it. Everything will fall apart. You're not going to be happy. Stick with your career. And I said, hold on. Now, listen to the person who's saying this. What do we know about him? He's a partner at an accounting firm. You know how hard you have to work to become a partner at an accounting firm? Especially one of the big ones? And this was one of the big ones. I said, this guy probably has devoted his entire life to his career. He probably doesn't have a successful relationship. He probably doesn't even know what that looks like. Do you really want to be taking relationship advice from someone like this? So she ended up moving, and she was happier. She ended up changing careers. That's an example of how sometimes going your own way, well, I guess that's not an example of that.
Yeah,
but
so what does all this have to do with MGTOW?
Well, MGTOW is the philosophy that I think it can help you if you want to be ambitious. So you are saying no to families, to relationships,
that's right.
to marriage.
That's how we got into this.
Oh, so you instead of dating and
it's the Rucka voice. I love when he goes into that.
He does his own. He like does his own voice.
He goes out of his own body.
Yeah, he's like
astro projector.
So you have two options, according to you guys. You have two options: be successful or
be in a
have a girlfriend in life.
Yeah,
there's one or the other. Because
girls
won't like you if you spend too much time at the office.
I think if you're young, you're just graduating from college, you're starting your career, and you get into a relationship with a succubus that drains you, I think women can be dream killers, especially at a time in your life where you should be focused on your career, especially early on, when you have the energy, when you're trying to make your own way in the world. And I think too many people get into these relationships early in life that eat away all their time, and it holds them back from being as successful as they could be.
Wow.
And I think you can balance it. I think you can be successful and be in a relationship, but I also don't know why being in a relationship is such a great goal to have. We have lots of relationships throughout the years. I've got guy friends, girlfriends, siblings. So you're going to have many of those, not siblings, but you'll have many friends over your years until you're in an old folks home and all your other friends are dead. And now you're surrounded by your new friends that are all 90 years old. And I don't know. It's just an ever evolving thing. This idea that you're going to, again, solve it. Life is not something that's solvable. I got a relationship and this one was successful. What made it successful? What if you're in a relationship for 5 years and it's perfect and you have nothing to complain about, and then your girlfriend gets hit by a bus, or wife, whatever it is? Well, did it work out, that relationship? Well, it did for the 5 years. Had she not been hit by the bus, and you'd been together 8 years, maybe you would have been divorced. Then it wouldn't have worked out.
Whoa.
It's the difference between getting sympathy pussy and just being another loser that got divorced.
Wow.
Now, Zach, it's interesting. Sounds like somebody has been reading Fuck Whales, because I wrote a chapter about that called Fuck Soulmates, where I
did not get to that chapter.
It's very interesting because you and I had the very exact same train of thought, where I made the case that if you got married, and this is a MGTOW argument against marriage, if you got married and your spouse was prematurely killed, your relationship was terminated prematurely because your spouse passed away or, whatever, like something happened, they went missing. Being that most marriages, or 50% of marriages, end in divorce, you will spend the rest of your life thinking about that person as being your, quote, soulmate, when in reality, that relationship may have ended and you're needlessly suffering because of this concept of a soulmate. That's another reason that I think men should go their own way, is because this concept of soulmates is damaging and hurtful to men. What Dreadmere?
Right. Look, man, all the statistics and everything about like 50% of divorce and all these people marriages failing and why is it good for you? All you do is lose money. I've always been against all of that, because at the end of the day, me being with this person that I think the world of is more important because it is one of life's values. Like, it is to be in love and to feel loved is one of the things that I think we strive for as much as success and everything else. So even when I'm with a girl, I always make it a point. I'm like, I don't care if 99% of divorces fail. The 1% is going to be us. It's this is going to work. Like, that's how much I believe in whatever it is that I'm doing with someone, or even my career. Like, I'm always hopeful with all of these things. So I don't really take like this whole soulmates that doesn't work. Like, I'm kind of against all that. I try to be hopeful about it.
What's your definition of it working? Like, how long do you have to be together for it to officially have worked?
It's a lot of it has to do with impact and not necessarily longevity, but like that is like the bulk of it.
So
I
you're
guess.
saying exactly. I think we agree. Like, I think you should get a dog. I think or a pet. It's a great thing.
But what if the dog gets hit by a bus?
No. I was saying, I think it's great to have a pet, right? So you have a dog, and you know that when you buy that dog or you adopt that dog, that one day it's going to die, and you're going to be heartbroken. You know that going in, but you go, hey, for the time I had the dog, it was great. It's a bummer I lost my best friend. So you're saying the same thing about a relationship, that women are basically like pets. So you get one.
I don't remember saying that.
You know that it doesn't matter how long it
Dreadmere
lasts.
said that, yeah.
It doesn't matter how long it lasts. It might be 6 years, and then if it ends, you go, well, that was nice for the 6 years they had the relationship. So I agree with you. Their relationships are disposable, and there's no such thing as a soulmate.
Hold on. I didn't say.
That's pretty much what I heard.
Yeah. Well, I didn't say any of that. But no. I mean, no. Okay, look. Yeah, the longevity is not necessarily like if it's out of my control. If it's out of my control, like she gets hit by a car or whatever, like yeah, a lot of it is out of your control in that regard.
What if she just cheats on you and dumps you?
Well, in that case, the relationship isn't necessarily what I wanted it to be. Like it is a betrayal. It is
so
a
it didn't
lie.
work out.
Right? Yeah, that's
okay.
different.
What if you're just tired of her crap and you break it off?
Well, then you're falling out of love, and it's no longer.
That didn't work out either.
Right? Yeah.
So when does it work out?
When
you
works.
happen to be in a relationship and one of you and you die during it.
I mean,
Like,
if that is the best case scenario, that I guess you look at the very, very end goal, possibly, but I'm not really looking at it like that. I'm looking at it more in the sense of building a life together, influencing each other, motivating each other, that kind of stuff. I think all of those are successes, despite the fact that you're probably going to both end up dead in 100 years. Yeah, true, but like, even so,
You don't think that being in a long-term successful relationship stands in contrast to your goals professionally?
I think it can, and it has, but I don't think that's permanent or like definite.
Okay,
I know jujitsu's a relationship killer. People start doing jujitsu and they get addicted to it, and before you know it, they're like, "Yeah, my wife left me, my girlfriend left me." Like it was either jujitsu or me, and I chose jujitsu. It happens a lot.
Well, my trainer is big into jujitsu, and so is his wife, and they're both personal trainers.
what?
And, yeah,
You have a trainer?
yeah, I have a trainer.
Really?
Yeah. Anyway, so he's into.
Interesting. I'd
Yeah.
like to meet this trainer.
Yeah, I'll introduce you.
What does he train you in?
Yeah. Like
He's
Pokemon
like
Go?
No, he's like a
Sonic?
trainer, like like exercise, and
Megan
nutrition,
trainer?
that sort of thing. A what?
Megan trainer?
Go ahead.
Yeah.
Finish your story.
So
Like your
he
trainer.
So he and his wife are both trainers, and they work well together. They're into jiu-jitsu, and I think let's paint a picture of where and how this can work, where a relationship can work. I think is one, if you guys both are in the same career, same profession, and you work a lot together, so you spend some time with each other. So you're not spending 8 to 12 hours per day in an office, and she's spending 8 to 12 hours per day in her office, and you guys never meet and communicate. I mean, essentially, a relationship is a function of the number of hours you spend together, right?
No, wrong.
So you're saying you can improve things to work together and be around each other constantly and never
It
have a
could.
minute apart?
Yeah,
That sounds
it could.
awesome.
Yeah, well, I know.
Oh my God.
I'm just trying to paint a picture. Look, hey,
a
buddy, I'm
gun in
MGTOW,
my
man.
mouth.
You and I, Zach, we're MGTOW, but we got to paint a picture of how it could possibly work, and this could possibly work. Would you agree with that, Dreadmere? Or
No, I wouldn't. I don't think being in the same career or anything of that, like, that's not necessary. I think philosophically you have to identify with your partner. Like, you have to be able to say, like, prioritize certain things as far as your values, and they need to connect on that. But other than that, what they do and how much time you spend with them is kind of irrelevant. Like,
why is that irrelevant?
because I've been with I don't want to relate to my experience. I think that if you can be with people, like, you can either spend all day every day with somebody and never get sick of them, or you could see them like once, like after work. Like both situations are fine. Like, I don't really see it like this connection between the amount of time you spend together and it not working out. Like, it just kind of depends on the two people involved. You know
What do
I
you think,
mean?
Rucka?
Yeah, I mean, it's quality and it's the relationship itself. I don't know. When did I turn into a relationship coach? I'm just, hearing Zach, it's like, yeah, how inspiring. Yeah. Like, contentment is something to strive for.
Sure.
And what's the point?
I
And
didn't say what's the point.
or like you can get hit by a bus at any time.
didn't
She can get hit by a bus.
I was just asking the definition of when a relationship works out. My point was, if you're in a relationship and you're together 10 years and she gets hit by a bus, people will go, "Oh, you two were so happy together." If you'd been together 10 years and 6 months, maybe it wouldn't have ended that way.
Well, all I know
Maybe
is
she would have you could have caught her cheating on you, or
I don't
vice
remember
versa.
both of the things
Lucky.
you said, but the one about contentment being something to strive for. Yeah, was that Nikola Tesla or Edison who said that? Was it one of the Wright brothers who said be content and
You don't think they
strive for
were
contentment?
Content when they were pursuing their goals? You don't think there's contentment?
Contentment? They couldn't fucking keep their ass seated. They were so excited to create shit.
But there's contentment in that. I mean, if you
No,
have a- if you-
contentment means I'm a fucking MGTOW doing nothing.
no, that's not the way I mean
Okay,
it.
listen. All right.
The way I mean it is, if you have a passion,
Yeah.
let's say, and it's airplanes, and you decide that's what you want to put everything into, and times, you lose track of time. You don't need to eat. This is your whole world. That's contentment to me. That's not. That's happy. That's being obsessed with something and passionate
All
about
right,
something and
contentment-
putting everything into it. To me, that's the whole point of life.
All right, but contentment sounds like satisfied and complacent.
To me, that is satisfying to be doing what I'm passionate
and
about.
complacent. Contentment sounds
I
complacent.
don't think
All right,
anyway.
anyway.
I don't mean complacent.
All right, well, it sounds like...
Those are contradictory.
All right, well,
Complacency and contentment are contradictory.
Okay, well, listen.
Just because they both start with C and you're confused doesn't mean they mean the same thing.
Yeah. All right, look, well, anyway, all this cynicism, all this pessimism about, like,
Well, what if the relationship doesn't work?
Zach, you're a successful magician. What if you had that same attitude about your craft? That, like,
Well, I mean, what if you die? What if it falls
But
apart?
I didn't say
what if it doesn't work out?
I'm saying do it. I'm saying do it all, but I just wanted to know what the definition of working out is. In other words, if you have a passion, I think you're a fool to not follow your passion for some chick. And if you need 18 hours a day to do something you believe in, and instead at 25 years old, you shack up with some broad and throw away your dream, I think you're an idiot.
Those are two idiotic options. One of them is completely do away with any interpersonal,
and to really achieve great things usually takes more time than women want to be away from you for.
Zach is sounding more and more MGTOW for real the longer this conversation goes.
That's why I said he'd be great for this debate.
Hold on, I want to hear Rucka's definition. When do you know you are in a successful relationship? What does that look like?
Two people who appreciate one another's values, right? Support one another's, like they're attracted to who the other person is, including what it is that they're passionate about, and neither one of them is content. They're both excited. They're both never satisfied with the status quo. Both always pushing themselves. Both introspecting. Two people like that can keep each other hooked, even if one of them's got to spend a few weekends at the office and not be there to hang out with the bitch's friends. I'm just hearing a lot of this pandering to the lowest common denominator. Like, every girl that I've ever hung around wanted me to, have no life, have no career, so that I can spend time with her. It's like, then those weren't the girls, dude.
Exactly.
Well, that's what I'm saying, Zach. You're what's wrong here. You need to be showing.
I've heard that my whole life.
Zach. You need to be the guy.
Be the guy.
Be the guy. Show women what they're missing. I said the same thing to Sargon when he was here, or whoever, about Anita Sarkeesian. I said, guys, instead of dedicating your life to talking shit to Anita, why don't you just show her what she's missing? Why don't you hit the gym? Why don't you be successful? Why don't you shower and show her what she's missing out on? That's what I'm saying. You don't like the girls that you're meeting? Well,
I didn't say
you
that, though.
push yourself to be the best you can and see what kind of girls start to show up around you in the culture.
And that's why I would never want to be associated with MGTOW, because I've never had a problem meeting girls. And I have a girlfriend that encourages me to spend time at jiu-jitsu because she's like, I know it's good for him. And so I happen to be with somebody that is not a time suck. But I'm also a couple of weeks from being 44 years old. And there's a big difference between somebody that, I own my own business doing these corporate events and private parties, and I've been doing it for years. But there's no way I could have, now my current girlfriend, but again, she's older. There's no way if I was 25 years old where I had to spend every waking moment hustling, that some other 25-year-old girl that just wants to party is going to put up with that crap. So I totally agree that there are women out there who will give you the space you need to pursue your dreams. But I'm just against young men coming out of college and giving up their dreams because they'd rather get laid and give everything to this person instead of pursuing their own passions. And it usually doesn't work out because they're young and then they're older and they wish they had done this other thing. So
let me get Dreadmere's opinion here, because I think that there has to be some tipping point where somebody is so driven and so ambitious and so focused on their work that it does cost them the relationship. Yeah. What do you think that is? Because Rucka kind of mentioned that the ideal relationship is one where they support each other's values, that they support each other and they're not content. I would disagree with the last part, being content, because you have to be content with your partner in order for that relationship to work. You have to have some level of contentment with your partner. But back to the work thing, because you said every occasional weekend, if they spend an occasional weekend working really hard, what if it's not the occasional weekend? What if it's almost every weekend? What if it's 75%? What do you think that balance is between work and relationship?
Unfortunately, this is a little bit nebulous, because sometimes the way that a partner could influence you is not so direct as them saying, hey, delete your Instagram or we can't be together. Sometimes it is just the amount of time that they take from you. And so I guess it really is going to have to come down to like your productivity, I guess, a little bit, and your own personal emotion with that. Because the thing is, if you are passionate about something, and you have a thing that you want to do, you get very, very depressed if you're not able to do it. You get very, very frustrated with yourself and emotional, and that does bleed over into the relationship, and that affects the relationship. Sometimes it ends because of that, and that happens to me a lot more than I wish it did, because I get so frustrated with myself that I can't work, or I get or even if I'm not in a relationship, like that happens. But like, yeah, that usually puts a strain on the relationship, and that is when it separates. I'm not as happy to be with them. I'm not as happy to be around them. I'm not doing things for them that I should be, or caring for them the way that I should be or normally did, because I'm unhappy with myself.
Let me ask you a question. You have more than one guy friend, right? Bunch of guy friends.
Yeah.
You don't see them all. You don't see them all the time, right? Like every day.
Right. Yeah.
Right. So I don't know that this goal of being in a relationship is so great. It's working out for me right now, but I got to say, the one way you could solve this problem, if you're somebody that's very passionate, that's got big goals, is to be honest with people and say, look, I'm not in a situation where I can see you all the time. How about when we get together, we have a great time. When we're not together, you do whatever you want to do. You get yourself a rotation of people. Now you've got, just like you have multiple guy friends, you got 7, 8 different girls that, you're pursuing your work, you're working your ass off, and you finally get a breather, and you flip open your phone and you go down the list until one of them's available to hang out. You have a nice time, you have a great time, you bang it out, and you go back to work.
Well, then you are dating. And the problem with that, well, the problem I have is that when people relate girlfriends to friends, like I've never really seen eye to eye with that, because there is a different level of respect that goes into a relationship than a friendship.
Yeah, because your best friend is the one that knows all the stuff that you don't tell your girlfriend. So that's like the real relationship, right? Because you're with this girl and you can't tell her this stuff. So you're with your best boy and you're like, dude, this chick.
I don't think that all right, you've got 7 booty calls. Like, who do you think?
Why are they booty calls? Why isn't it just 7 people maybe it's 7 professional women that also have their own careers and businesses?
That's just not what people really want. Like, what if you?
That was my situation for years. I met other women that were busy as shit.
Well, no wonder you have such a cynical attitude towards relationships.
It worked out great though. I had several relationships, but it was like having lots of guy friends. I had lots of girlfriends and was honest with all of them. And they all knew that, look, this is my deal. I work my ass off. And a lot of them were professionals that worked their asses off, and it worked out for everybody. And then some of them, hey, you know what? I can't do this anymore. I met somebody. Okay, cool. And that was eventually me. Eventually I met somebody that I was like, all right, this is somebody but she's also one of the rare people that gives me a lot of the space I need to pursue my goals.
Yeah, pragmatically, that makes a lot of sense. But unfortunately, like for me, I guess, I don't really get enough out of that. Like I do enjoy having lots of partners in a rotation, as you like to describe it. Like I've definitely been there. I'm kind of in that situation right now, but I'm not quite as fulfilled as if I'm with somebody for a long time that understands me and I can share things
that
with.
Eventually rips your heart out. Yeah.
I mean, that has been the case, but again, I'm not too worried about that.
That's an important lesson. Never leave yourself vulnerable.
Is that a lesson?
I agree with that.
Well, guys, we got to wrap this up. This is an interesting debate. I'm curious to see especially what the women think of this, because I think a lot of
shit what they think.
I think a lot of shit was Zach started out kind of like on the fence with this whole MGTOW shit, and every single word he says is more and more like,
One beer
yeah,
I'm
later.
going to become their spokesman inadvertently.
Oh, you already are, buddy. This
Dude, I got to find my people
is
somewhere.
hilarious. Yeah.
You just need a girl who supports that career choice.
There you go. A girl who supports your MGTOW philosophy.
Exactly.
Guys, don't forget to vote on the website madcastmedia.com. Vote on both sides of these debates. I'm curious to see what you guys think, especially the women. And I know the vote doesn't represent your gender, so comment below. I want to see what you guys think of this. Rucka, do you have a wrap up for us?
Yeah. All right. This is not a popular position, but the more I think about it, I'm a genuine sexist. Like, genuinely. Like, the real sexist says there are differences between men and women, right? I'm glad none of you can answer. But, like, listen, this is not...
I thought we weren't supposed to talk.
You're not allowed to talk.
That's what I thought.
You're not allowed to... You're talking. Quiet. Here's what I mean. Girls look up to us. No one wants to say it, but it's true. They do. Deep down, everybody kind of knows it. As much as the academics want to prove that gender is all a social construct, deep down... chicks do look to guys for direction, and guys have given up that leadership position. We're surrounded by feminine men, and when I say feminine men, I'm including guys that don't think they're good enough to ever have a functioning relationship as well as a career. And we've completely walked away from manhood and masculinity. People that used to write books like The Alphabet of Manliness today. Hey,
Fuck
you
you,
can't
Roy. I don't
shut
give a
up! You
shit.
can't say shit.
I don't
You
give a
can't say
shit.
shit. today make the case that, oh, well, I dated a doctor once and she was real busy, so, I don't really trust people to have a career. Anyway, the point being, yes, deep down, girls, they really do look to guys. So the number one thing to do in life, your number one focus, before you worry about finding some girl that lets you keep your Instagram account, is what's the best version of me I can be? And things tend to flow naturally from there. Thank you.
It's a Rucker wrap-up.
There you go. You've in fucking one of those.
Ad hominem.
And yeah. Rucka, real bold of him to attack a position that I took rhetorically for this debate. Yeah. Real bold position there, Rucka.
Yeah,
and also being like acknowledging differences between the sexes doesn't mean to make you an automatic sexist. A sexist is somebody who promotes one gender over the other.
Oh, I thought it was power plus privilege.
That I don't know what the fuck feminist bullshit literature you're reading, shithead. Anyway, that was the shittiest Rucka wrap-up ever. All right,
let's move on.
Let's move
yeah,
on.
by the way, looking forward to the quote on my fucking tombstone one day. I am a genuine sexist.
Yeah. There you go. You guys heard it?
Yeah.
All right, we should get to a recap of the debate last week. Last week, Dreadmere and Zach, we debated whether or not kids are worth having. I think I know what Zach is going to say. Dreadmere,
No.
What is your philosophy? What do you think?
Yeah, I would say yeah.
Okay. All right. That's what I thought. Well, we put it to the audience vote, and with 59% of the vote, no. Yeah, that's cool.
Shit.
People are waking up finally.
Our whole audience is
What was it again? What was the debate?
Whether or not kids are worth having.
Oh.
Yeah.
Shitty investment.
Yeah, well.
A lot of people are like, who's going to take care of you when you're old? There's no guarantee that your kids are going to be there when you're old.
You could
that's
get hit
in
by
this
a bus. Your kids could get hit by a bus.
That's true.
I just know a lot of people
True.
who have shitty kids that don't go, they have nothing to take care
I mean,
of them.
they've got kids in the house when they're 40. Like, the kids are the ones that need to be supported when you're old.
I think most people in America would probably disagree with these results on the website from our voting, because I think this tells us more about our audience than it does about people in general, I think. And maybe, I don't know, maybe I just made a really strong
it's definitely
case.
your audience.
Yeah.
I'm shocking that the guy who hates kids would have an audience.
Yeah, weird.
Doesn't want kids.
Yeah, I guess.
I don't think you hate kids. I think you're fair.
Yeah, I am fair.
You're fair.
Thank you.
Like when you critique their artwork and their singing.
Right.
It's
Harsh but fair.
You do look at it pragmatically.
Yeah.
Yeah.
In a way, it's a form of respect that kids don't usually get.
Thank you. Absolutely. That's exactly what it is. It's a form of respect. I don't baby talk to
Call them
babies.
And by the
I
way-
respect them.
and
And I'm the same. And I'm saying let's be the same way with women. Don't put them on a pedestal. Don't fucking sacrifice your career for some trick.
Well, we had another debate question last week, which is whether or not our own Rucka should get a promotion.
Oh, hell yeah. Here we go.
Yeah.
Exciting.
Yeah.
Was
so-
the other option a demotion?
No, I just asked
Oh.
whether or not you should get a promotion.
Okay.
And it was neck and neck
Ooh.
for most of the week. Actually, it was in one direction for most of the week. But finally, we have a conclusive result that is just outside the margin of error, luckily. So we can say, with 54% of the vote, yes!
Yeah!
Wow.
Rucka
I was on the
Hell
edge of
yeah.
my seat.
gets a
Congratulations.
promotion, and this may be his last promotion for at least for a while, because Rucka's, as you may or may not have heard, is taking a bit of a departure from the show. He's spreading his own wings, going to focus on his commentary channel. He's
didn't
going to
know that.
London. He's going to be doing the Kilroy event
Yeah.
in not too long. Yeah, so a lot of exciting stuff. But
Cool, dude.
the vote is the vote, and we have to honor it. I have to give Rucka one final promotion. So, Rucka, you are currently the Maharaja of moderation. Well, you are going from Maharaja of moderation to the Monarch of moderation.
Yeah.
Congratulations,
Monarch.
Rucka. Yeah, you are a monarch.
I
Wow.
like it.
I thought you
Yeah.
were gonna rhyme that like in the beginning of your shows, like premature ejaculation or something.
Yeah. Oh boy. Wait till you tune in next week for that one. Anyway, Rucka and Dreadmere, I gotta also say, since you've appeared on the show, I believe 3 or 4 times at least.
I think it's like 5.
5
now.
times?
Yeah, something like that.
Well, Dreadmere, that qualifies you for a promotion.
Oh shit.
So you're going from moderator in training to deputy moderator.
Oh,
Congratulations.
Yeah.
Aw,
Thanks.
shit.
Awesome.
Dreadmere, welcome to the club.
Thanks.
That's exciting stuff.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Zach, you're next. We'll see how many
Oh.
more times you appear. Hey, speaking of Zach, though, guys, I got to mention, we finally launched another new show on this network. Please welcome to Madcast Media Network, Super Arrogant Brothers. It's a video game podcast. It's now available on Madcast Media. Stay tuned at the end of this episode. You're going to hear a bumper for their show. Check them out, guys. It's a gaming podcast. It's with Captain Dirk and Dr. Mitchard. It's a lot of fun. These guys really get into it, and sometimes I just listen to their podcast, and I just start listening to the little tidbits and things they're talking about the game industry. They're really knowledgeable. It's
Are
a
they
lot
actually
of fun.
brothers?
I don't think they're actually brothers. No.
Suspicious already.
Yeah. You know what? Maybe. Tune in and find out, guys. It's on madcastmedia.com. Give them a listen. Give them a shout out. And I also want to mention our very own Zach Waldman is launching a show on this network. Zach,
Yeah.
welcome to the club.
Woohoo! I'm very excited, man.
Yeah, can you tell us a little bit about your show?
Well, for right now, I do a couple of different segments. It's just my name. What is that? Eponymously named?
Eponymously named, yeah.
Eponymously named.
Yeah.
The Zach Waldman Show. Usually, I'm doing current events. I do it live late at night, 12:15 a.m. Monday through Thursday nights. That's technically Tuesday through Friday morning, but
Yeah.
Monday through Thursday night, 12:15 a.m. Pacific Standard Time. I do it live. Cover the latest current events. It's kind of cool. Sometimes news, gets filed really late at night, and I'm one of the first people to talk about it, do some commentary on it, and I also occasionally, my buddy Drew comes on, and we debate about the worst people in the world. So
Like it a lot. Guys, it's coming to the network. Check out both of these shows. Super Arrogant Brothers, if you like gaming podcasts. Game Fart's still going strong. We still got Cringe versus Cringe from Pod Awful, and Zach's new show. A lot of exciting stuff coming, and another new show that's going to be announced probably within the next 2 or 3 weeks. But we should get to the voicemail. And again, don't forget to check out the bumper at the end of the show, at the end of this episode. But here's a voicemail about what types of voicemails I play on this show. Listen to this.
Hey, Maddox, I've got your phone number on my speed dial whenever I'm in the car and I'm thinking of some funny bit, I'll call it in. And occasionally I'll end up on the show, which is really fun. But what I wanted to know is if you could take a few minutes and give people some advice on what to say and what not to say when they call in for the voicemails, because I'm sure you listen to 90% junk before you get to stuff that's actually worthy of going on the show. Rucka, I'm going to miss you a lot wherever you're, France, wherever you're going. I hear they have bread bowls there, so don't get too pissed off. Whale Nazi.
All right.
Well, let's see.
So good question. What kind of voicemails do I play? I'll tell you what kind. In general, short ones, less than a minute. And in fact, that voicemail that you guys just heard, I had to cut down a little bit because the question repeated itself a few times. And I thought, you know what? We get the gist of it if I just cut these two little bits out. I like to play short voicemails, funny voicemails, interesting commentary. Sometimes I'll play long ones if they're very poignant. And sometimes, if I don't get a chance to play it on the podcast, I will communicate with the person who sent the voicemail and say, hey, thank you for your contribution to this debate. It's too long to play on the podcast, but it's a very thoughtful voicemail. I do listen to almost every single... I listen to, I would say, 90% of the voicemail I get. I get a ton of voicemail every week, and I make an effort to listen to every single one. Last week, actually, we got so much voicemail that after we recorded our episode, I went back and I listened to the rest of them. We got so much good stuff. I'm playing some of those this week. So we got a ton of voicemail. Speaking of, a lot of people in this room, one person in particular, shits on Armenians. As, hey, what did they invent?
Did you do
Which ones?
Dreadmere, Zach?
I shit on Armenians every chance I get.
There you
You know
go.
what?
That's
Fuck you, Zach. Well, you know what?
One of my
We got-
favorite songs is one Rucka did about her.
yeah.
Yeah,
Come on.
bro, bro.
Rings a bell. Which
Yeah.
one was that?
Bro, I'm Armenian.
Yeah, I felt
Oh.
exactly.
Yeah,
It really,
he's got the figure for it right over there.
Yeah.
it really articulated how I felt.
Yeah, good.
Yeah.
Well, this guy's calling in to talk about what Armenians invented. If you guys are watching on YouTube, Rucka's holding up an action figure of me from that video
Yeah.
that
see
someone
that
made.
thing.
Steve, you're
Steve Schlager.
Steve Schlager, yeah.
Subscribe on the internet.
Yeah, funny guy.
Fantastic, talented.
And
See
he
that?
made an action figure?
Yeah, it's an action figure of me from
is
Rucka's
a-
see
video.
that thing.
This is a YouTube exclusive. All you audio files, all you
How do you make an action figure?
audio listeners are missing out.
Yeah, he made a custom action figure. Well, this guy's calling in to
That
talk
is too
about
cool.
what Armenians invented. Listen to this.
All right,
Short
random
voicemail.
little bit of fucking trivia. Remember a while back you guys were fucking arguing over what exactly Armenia invented and what exactly they brought to the table and what major contributions they brought to the world? Well,
Yeah.
I'm just sitting back enjoying a glass of wine. I'm pretty fucking drunk right now, but whatever. I thought to myself, who fucking really invented wine in the first place? So I did a quick Wikipedia search, and look right here. It says the oldest evidence of wine production has been found in Armenia in 4100 BC. So the fucking Armenians invented wine. So fuck yeah, Maddox, you have another thing to be proud of. Fuck whales, hell yeah.
Yeah, fuck whales to you too.
Yeah, nobody ever would have figured that out without the Armenians.
Well, we did it first. We did it first, though, huh? Shit.
Prisoners do it in toilets.
Oh, wow. Okay, great. Wow. Yeah, and guess what? They learned from the Armenians. Okay.
Yeah. So you're proud of inventing something that pussies use to get drunk?
No,
shit.
that drunks used to get pussies.
Ah, shit.
Wow.
Yeah.
All right, let's
Oh,
get.
thanks, Maddox.
Yeah, you're welcome. Yeah, we invented wine, shitheads. Oh, someone else would have invented it. Well, I guess all this MGTOW shit of men like inventing rockets and shit could have been invented by women if we just fucking waited long enough, right?
Well,
same fucking argument.
In all fairness, a person figured out how to press wine. So I wouldn't really give a race of people congratulations for that.
But Armenians can go their own way.
We did though.
Well, good job.
Well, we
good
did,
job
though.
inventing wine.
Thank
you and all the
Yeah.
other people that share your genetic
Hey,
network.
look,
Can you just-
Armenians, at least you're not Persians, you know? We got that going for you.
Wow.
That's the
Hey,
slogan.
Hallmark, are you listening? This guy right here.
At least you're not Persian.
Yeah. Well, we did invent it, so up yours to everyone who
Congrats.
In Glendale,
who thought-
very safe city.
Yeah, it is a very safe city.
Yes.
Anyway, here's another voicemail. This is from. Oh, this is about last week. We had a guest on, Dr. Deborah. She said she liked the movie Boss Baby. Listen to this guy.
Okay, Dr. Deborah seems like a very nice young lady, but seriously, the Boss Baby, wow. Biggest piece of shit animated movie since, I don't even fucking know when, because, oh my god, really? The Boss Baby is one of the biggest pieces of shit animated movies ever fucking made, and to think that the fucking Academy Awards had the balls to nominate that shit for an Oscar for Best Animated Feature this year, my god. Fuck the Oscars and fuck whales.
Yeah.
These guys can't wait till they get home to leave these voicemails. They're always driving.
At least
they
he
get
uses
so,
his turn signal. That's nice.
they always
Nobody
get
in
super
LA does
triggered
that.
as they're listening to it, I guess.
Yeah. Well, that guy called earlier and he said he keeps the phone number to this podcast on speed dial. So when he can, think of a bit. Apparently, they can't even wait till finish ordering at Chick-fil-A.
Oh, yeah, that's
a couple episodes ago.
Good point.
Weird Matthew McConaughey called in again, talking about seafood and whether or not seafood's a good date choice. I think it is, and he seems thinks it gives you fish farts. I don't think so. Listen to this.
I thank Rucka for backing me up, sorta, on the raw fish. Not good. And yes, Indiana is not a good place to get fucking seafood. I don't fuck with seafood, especially raw seafood. That's fucking not that tasty.
Yeah.
This guy found the last remaining Quaalude in the country.
Yeah, I don't remember backing him up. I think I disagreed with what he was saying. He was
Wow.
saying, no, don't get sushi. And I was saying, if I lived in Indiana, I would also hate sushi.
Yeah, I guess the seafood in the Midwest is not
Also,
precious.
don't spend your money taking chicks out on dates.
That's a very MGTOW thing to
Take
say.
him on a walk.
Very MGTOW.
Meet them late at night and pump them and dump them.
There you go.
Um,
Boy,
MGTOW.
dump that bitch.
DTV.
You should ask Maddox's aunt out on a date.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Oh,
Your
match
aunt?
made in heaven.
Listen, Zach. Women are whores. Pump them and dump them. That's the advice my aunt gave me when I was 16.
I remember you talking. It came back to me.
Yeah.
That's awesome.
Well, we got another voicemail.
I
This
like
guy,
your aunt.
Speaking of, occasionally I will play some of these voicemails that are a little bit more poignant. This guy had an interesting commentary on the James Damore Google controversy. If you guys don't remember, he's the guy who got fired for sending out that memo, or I guess writing a little screed about the genetic differences between men and women at Google. Listen to this.
Hey, Maddox. Just listened to the last episode, and I wanted to respond really quickly to that kind of throwaway comment you made about James Damore getting fired from Google. He wrote the memo in response to all of the diversity training and diversity seminars that he was forced to attend as a Google employee, and posted the memo to an internal forum for discussion of, solely Google employees. He didn't leak it to the press. it was leaked to the press by people who disagreed internally in Google, people who disagreed with the contents of the memo. And subsequently, he was absolutely fired for the contents of the memo. There was, him writing the memo was fully within his bounds as a Google employee. And so I don't know. I just wanted to maybe you need to just take a look at Google as a unbiased source. I think you're maybe trusting them a little bit too much. They have their biases just as much as any other company does. Anyway, good show. Go fuck yourself.
You go fuck yourself. You know what?
I
Here.
like that guy.
Oh shit!
Just for the last part. But here's the thing: that caller brought up something interesting. I actually did look into this. So James Damore's lawsuit got dismissed because he was trying to sue Google for discrimination. But Google is also being sued by another one of their employees who is very liberal. And this person's suing because he complained to Google repeatedly that they're not hiring enough LGBTQ people, they're not hiring enough trans managers and things like that. And Google said, you know what, you got to back off. This isn't your place. And he was sending these memos to inside company people. So look, I think the founders of Google are objectively liberal. They are unabashedly liberal, and you know their political spectrum and their political point of view, especially with YouTube and some of the heads of YouTube, that sort of thing. However, in spite of that, I think they still fire people who go outside the scope of their jobs from the left and the right, clearly, because there's 2 lawsuits going against them. And there's another one, actually, because one of their old recruiters, I just covered this on my news show. I do a news show on Friday nights. One of their recruiters is suing Google for discrimination against white people because he says that according to some internal policy that they made it a point to only hire or try to hire Hispanics, women, and black people over Asians and Caucasians. So that's
we got
going on right
so
now.
we got 2 lawsuits suing Google for being too biased to the left or biased towards white people, and then that second one you said they're suing them for not hiring enough trans people.
Yeah,
that's not saying Google fired anyone for being.
That guy got fired. That guy got fired because he was complaining that Google was not friendly enough to trans and LGBTQ people.
Really?
Yes.
He got fired for saying that?
Yeah.
Interesting.
It is interesting. That's why I mentioned.
I'm suspicious of your summary of what happened. I'll have to get it from a news source like Google News. Go ahead.
The real lesson here is, I think, what do you call it when they what's that term for like when they say a school has to take a certain number of minorities?
Quota?
Diversity?
No.
Affirmative action.
Affirmative action. It almost sounds like this company is. It sounds like Google is self-imposing their own version.
Yeah.
Of affirmative action.
Now I think that's the problem. Essentially when it comes down to this type of stuff, is when there's this policy of affirmative action, and whatever you want to say for or against it, it came about because of actual institutional racism that existed in every branch of government and segment of society. Say what you will about it, you can make the case for or against it, but that was a government.
It was a drastic move for a drastic time with a drastic problem.
Right.
So the time has passed.
So now people who take it upon themselves to correct some perceived wrong with their own versions of affirmative action have gone way too far in the other direction when, first of all, they're not counting any metrics. They're not looking at the number of people that they have passed on for jobs and promotions of whatever perceived
what happened to just hiring the best people for the job?
Well, right.
Well, listen to fucking Archie Bunker and Al Bundy over here. Jesus Christ. What is this? The fucking Alex Jones new far right wing program? God, a couple of white guys in here, huh?
Dreadmere. Yeah. That's what I am always called, a white guy. Here's a voicemail for Rucka. Listen to this.
Yeah.
All right, I'll make it short and sweet, but we're all gonna miss Rucka. Hope he does what he Hope he does good. If you need a new moderator, don't pick me, because apparently I really suck at talking. All right, Rucka. Fuck whales. All right. Bye. Sorry, I'm so awkward.
Jesus Christ. He applied and then immediately redrew his application.
Yeah. Here's a voicemail. A guy is trying to date Dr. Deborah's daughter, I think. Listen to this.
Oh, shit.
Hey, Lord Maddox, it's me. This question goes out to Dr. Deborah. If your single daughter wants to, settle down with some guy from the Midwest with good credit and a mortgage, just let me know. Or if any of your other single friends, I do have good credit, and I'm semi-reliable, so, you got that going. Yeah, just hit me up. Fuck whales.
There you go. I think that goes for any of our listeners. If you want to date the real Christian atheist, that guy's a regular caller into the show. Here's another voicemail. We talked about Kanye West and whether or not he was the greatest lyricist of all time. I was shitting. Yeah, thank you, Zach. Thank you for backing me up on that.
That was a debate?
No, it was came up in a call.
There's no debate. Yeah. Clearly he is.
Well, here's a voicemail about that.
Yeah. I heard that guy who left a voicemail about the bad Kanye West lyric, and I think I have one that tops that from Kanye. On his most recent album, one of the lyrics on the biggest song on there goes, "So if this model just bleached her asshole, and I fuck her in the ass, and I get bleach on my t-shirt, I'ma feel like an asshole." Now I think that's the reason why Kanye West is one of the greatest rappers of all time. Can you imagine anyone actually thinking that was a good lyric for a song? That guy's a lyrical genius.
Yeah, so if a model bleaches her asshole and I fuck her asshole and I get bleach on my t-shirt, then I'll be an asshole.
I'll feel like an asshole.
I'll feel like an asshole. Great.
How did he
like
get
Shakespeare.
bleach on his t-shirt?
Yeah, because I guess he.
Well, Shakespeare was.
It hung over his dick. Why is he still wearing his t-shirt while he's fucking?
I'm learning a lot here.
Come
This is
on,
great.
Zach.
I don't know.
Zach, aren't you for wearing a t-shirt while fucking?
No.
Yeah, man, you're a busy guy. You don't have time to get undressed. Get it done. Get right back to work.
I wear a full-on suit jacket.
Yeah,
tie.
okay.
Yeah.
Good point.
Take off my pants.
Yeah.
There you go.
I'm
No
like
need
James
for formalities.
I get bleach on my suit jacket.
Yeah, I'm like James Bond, man. Get it done in the elevator on my way to work, doctor appointments.
Dennis? That's a good debate topic. Should guys take their shirts off during sex?
What?
Yeah, no, next episode.
Only if you don't have shit to do.
Sure.
It's dressing, undressing. The friction is chafing my skin.
I love when fat guys think like they're fooling the women they're with, like somehow they don't know.
Like being at the swimming pool. Yeah,
Yeah, exactly. That's a good look.
Here's another voicemail. Speaking of looks, here's another voicemail for Rucka.
Yo, Maddox, I had to call again, but not about you. It's about Rucka's hair again. When I'm watching the YouTube, I was just realizing that Rucka wears his fucking earphones with the headband going around the back of his head. I mean, Rucka, that can't be comfortable, can it? I mean, it really is time for a haircut, man. Just get a haircut, wear your earphones normal. Life will be good. You'll save yourself time in the morning.
There you go.
All right, good advice.
So yeah, a little bit of a parting device for Rucka.
Yeah.
Parting advice. Yeah. Here's another voicemail about a correction. We get these from time to time. Listen to this guy.
All right, pop quiz. Where is Vlad the Impaler from? A. Transylvania. B. Turkey. C. Romania. Or D. Wallachia. You answered wrong twice. It was Wallachia.
Yeah.
Yeah, okay, thanks.
What? Is that Dracula, the same guy?
Yeah.
Yeah, Dracula.
He's from Transylvania.
Vlad Tepes. No, Wallachia. Wallachia is where classic. I don't think it was Transylvania back then. It was Wallachia.
I'm not emo anymore. I'm not emo anymore. I don't know anything about vampires.
Dreadmere.
You like girls now? Cool.
We all looked at Dreadmere because he would know as a former emo.
Yeah.
Where do vampires come from? What are they like?
And finally, here's a voicemail about that statistic we kept talking about marriage. Listen to this.
Hey, so 50% of marriages don't end in divorce. That's just like a popular saying. What that's accounting for is people who have been married more than once. So if you're married twice, you're more likely to get divorced than someone who's only been married once. So a lot of people in that statistic with the 50%, that's 50% of all marriages, not 50% of people. So there's a huge difference. The number is not that high. It's not 50%. So again, that's accounting for everyone who's been married. So a lot of those people have been married 3 or 4 times. And that's why it's skewing the statistic. It's not 50%. That's bullshit.
I've actually heard that before, and earlier when someone said that divorces end half the time, I heard that before, but I don't know if that's true.
No, how can it be true? Because every marriage is with a distinct new person. These people aren't getting remarried to the same person 4 times in a row, so those are different marriages, those different divorces.
But my argument is, what's the point? Let's say you don't get divorced. What are you getting out of being married that you can't get just being together?
That's fine. That's irrelevant, though. Let's talk about the statistic. I think that if you get married 4 times, then you got divorced 4 times. That means 3 other people got divorced 3 other times, right? At the very minimum. So So even if you don't count those divorces, if one person has 4 divorces, those are still 4 distinct divorces, are they not?
Yeah. Well, yeah, but the way that I understand it is that there's a statistic saying that 50% of marriages end in divorce, and then it goes up for second marriages.
Yes.
It's like 75% or something
Right.
like that. So I don't know.
So
there's like
still-
2 separate things. I don't know if they're
So the
counting them.
multiple fuck-ups are throwing off the curve.
Right, but there's still divorces. I've also heard that statistic with rape offenders. Like most rapes, most sexual assaults occur by the same few people. They're repeat offenders. They'll hit, they'll have 8 offenses or 10 offenses or something like that. Look at that fucking Olympic shithead. The doctor from the Olympics, over 100 women he's sexually assaulted. That piece of shit who
They're
should get
kids
locked up
too,
for life.
like kids. He was.
Some of them must have been underage because he trained younger Olympic athletes.
By the way, what percentage of people make it in showbiz?
I'm not sure.
What's your definition of making it, though? Having a career or being famous?
Being on the best debate in the universe once.
Very few.
Very few.
yeah.
All right, well, but here we are. So stop fucking citing statistics and just, let's focus on everyone doing the best they can, huh? Yeah. There you go.
Yeah, I'm not a
That's
fan
how
of
you-
statistics or
Fuck
sciences.
evidence.
That's how you win a debate with Maddox. You flatter his...
Earlier, I said I believe in personal responsibility and just looking out for yourself and doing the best you can to achieve your goals. You were like, no. We're just debating. Yeah, I don't know.
No, I was saying some of your pretenses were a little bit not my type.
Mm-hmm.
Well,
suspicious.
Yeah.
Guys, we should get to some quick news headlines. I've got one from U.S. News. A man with red sauce on his face was charged with meatball theft. Only the important stories here. Police say a damning clue led to the arrest of a Pennsylvania man charged with stealing a pot of meatballs.
Jesus.
Red sauce smeared on his face and clothes. Authorities in Luzerne County have charged 48-year-old Layman Glenn Robert Potter, 4 names, man, with burglary, criminal trespassing, and theft by unlawful taking for allegedly swiping a pot of meatballs from a man's garage on Monday.
Jesus Christ, what is this?
Yeah,
well, first off, what fucking...
Where's the world coming to?
Yeah,
You don't
well-
steal a man's meat.
Hold on. No.
Or his balls.
What century is this? What is this, a fucking, Garfield cartoon? What is this shit? What is this, a comic strip from the 40s? What is this shit? Somebody stole a fucking pie from the windowsill and the cop saw blueberries on his fucking chin, and that's a fucking news headline? Some shit happened in some small town somewhere, and this is now in the fucking news?
They're fucking headlines,
And
man.
then Maddox decided
Yeah.
to cure that for us.
I'm bringing in the important headlines, shitheads.
Yeah.
Police say the victim reported his meatballs missing and told
still going.
officers around 2:30 p.m. Monday that he saw Potter standing in front of his house with red sauce on his face and clothes. The pot was found in the street. So they found clues.
How is this news? Some crazy homeless guy grabbed a pot of meatballs from a garage. Fuck knows what it was doing there. And then ends up just covering himself in crap and throwing the fucking pot away.
Some man, I guarantee this man was a bachelor making
Yes.
meatballs in his garage, right? Talk about MGTOW. He's in his garage, minding his own fucking business, going his own way, making a pot of meatballs. He thought, wow, what a feast. Just for me. I'm a man.
Yeah.
I'm the
Going my
I'm the
own
king
way.
of my domain.
A
Everything
pot
I
of
see-
meatballs.
Yeah, I'm going to eat a pot of meatballs for lunch. And then he comes out, he goes inside the house for a minute, answer a phone call or something. And then it was a wrong number because no one calls you. You're MGTOW.
Yeah.
And then he comes back outside, and his meatballs are missing. So it says here,
Yes,
it's
on the landline.
Who
That's
touched
right.
my spaghetti ball? Does that work here?
Touch my spaghetti.
Did he
yeah.
actually
Someone
call the
touched his
cops?
spaghetti.
Someone touched his spaghetti.
Someone touched his spaghetti.
Oh
and he
my
goes-
god, yo, that guy and the spaghetti guy, the meatball guy and the spaghetti guy, their stories combined.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, it says it's unclear if Potter washed the sauce off before he was arrested a short time later. Potter's attorney did not immediately respond to a voicemail seeking comment. Guys, this is big news. If you guys have ever been to Sweden, it's one of the most boring countries in terms of headlines. They have no crime. There's nothing ever happen. It's so safe in Sweden. This is the type of thing you'd see on the front page of their newspapers. They don't even have porn in Sweden. Try finding porn in Sweden. You can't. There's no porn.
Well, who needs porn when you're in Sweden?
Oh yeah, no joke. Everyone's fucking. You walking around with fucking boner all day. I
Why
walked
is there
into
no porn in Sweden, though?
because everyone's fucking hot. You don't need to, man. You
No,
just
no,
go
I
home.
got that joke, but what I'm saying is, I'm just saying, why? Where do you see porn anywhere anymore? I mean, you got the internet. It's not like there's porn theaters.
Talking
and every-
about Zach 7-Eleven, fucking street street newsstands.
So why don't they have that in Sweden? I thought they'd be less uptight.
They don't have no, because it's a very feminist culture, and they don't like to. They think that pornography objectifies women, which is insane. But we'll get into that philosophy another time. But they don't have porn. I can't find any fucking porn in Sweden. Again, and it is true. You don't need it. I fucking walked into a grocery store, and this janitor's walking around. Just the janitor working there. It's a 7. I'm like, holy shit. All right, guys. Zach Waldman, thank you for coming on the show. Guys, check out Zach's show coming to Madcast Media Network soon.
Go to my YouTube channel.
Yeah. Zach also, he put so much work into his podcast and his YouTube. He is also producing a video version of his podcast as well. And Dreadmere, everybody, please check out Dreadmere's Instagram channel, all your social media, and YouTube channel as well, right?
Yep. Yeah, Dreadmere. It's the same thing. You guys know.
Yeah.
Dreadmere, D-R-E-A-D-M-E-R-E.
While his old lady lets him keep his Instagram.
Yeah, right.
We'll see.
Yeah, while it's still available, guys, check it out. Thank you again, Zach Waldman.
Thank you for having me, guys.
Thank you,
Gonna miss you,
Dreadmere.
Rucka.
Yeah.
Thank you to the monarch of moderation, Rucka Ali.
That's right.
But most of all, you're welcome.
What's up, guys? I love the show. I listened to this week's episode, and I found that Rucka is going to stop being a regular on the show, and it breaks my heart. I'm going to miss having him often on the show on a weekly basis, but at least he's doing good stuff now, too. So good luck, Rucka, out there. All right? Rooting for you.
Yeah. Can't figure out that guy's accent. What is he?
I couldn't figure it out
Sounded
either.
worried. It's just like a worried accent.
It's a worried accent or like
I don't know. Worried accent. Well, here's one last call. Listen to this.
Hey, Maddox. So, no joke. I've got your phone, your voice. Fuck! Play this, please.
I always play the fuck ups. Anyway, guys, thanks for calling into the show. Madcastmedia.com for the voicemail number. Check out Zach's show, and stay tuned for the Super Arrogant Brothers trailer at the tail end of this episode.
Yeah.
Woohoo!
Hey there. Don't forget to subscribe to Madcast shows on iTunes, Stitcher, or your favorite podcast app. Okay, bye.
Madcast Media Network.
Oh, hey there, Madcast. I'm Captain Dirk. And I'm Dr. Mitchard. And this is Super Arrogant Bros. What if I have to pay extra just to be able to use things like Netflix or Facebook?
Or Pornhub.
Oh, fuck. That's a dark subject there.
They're coming for your porn, dude. Yes, Brianna Wu, you are probably way smarter than Elon Musk, the guy who is bored and has billions of dollars. With EA, just because of how much money they make, they need a bigger middle finger, though.
Right.
$3.1 billion lost in stock pricing. A comeback.
If it makes moms mad, it makes me happy. Check out Super Arrogant Bros right now on madcastmedia.com.